Hello and welcome back to the Gloves Off, Helmets On podcast. And today we have a good one, don't we?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about what's next for the drivers whose contracts end at the end of the 2025 season.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about what we think is going to happen for them next.
What their options are, what the best option is, what the worst option is, what a realistic option is, and
What our assumptions are basically for what we think is going to happen for them.
exactly. So, I mean, do we start off with our personal favourite, or do we start with someone else?
Yeah, we can start with our personal favourite, and there's quite a few drivers whose contracts end in 2025 actually, which we didn't realise.
No, there's 5, which I thought there was 2, 3.
So there could be some interesting things happening at the end of the season.
For sure. Yeah, so to start us off, George Russell, obviously, this is one of the more bland ones, I suppose, with what he's probably going to do. But obviously Russell, one of the best, you would say.
Yeah, definitely.
So he's obviously quite a popular driver, well respected, could probably go anywhere really, but in this scenario with obviously the other drivers locked into their contracts, we've basically come up with Russell is going to stay at Mercedes.
Yeah, he's been with them for a few years now. I think another reason for him to stay is he beat Hamilton 2 seasons in a row on points.
Yeah, so they're going to want him.
They're going to have a good relationship with him, and history shows that Mercedes do sort of build a good relationship with the drivers and hold on to him for a few years. And I think Russell is, especially now they've got a rookie with Kimi Antonelli, I think to keep him on would be the smart thing.
Yeah, safe hands. I mean, their only other option, Russ, obviously you're at a top team, so you're not going to be like, you're only going to leave if another top team comes calling.
Yeah.
So, Red Bull have, well, Christian Horner, the Red Bull team principal, he's stated that he's interested in George Russell. And
he's interested in everyone.
True, but he basically said George Russell, obviously his contract runs out at the end of 2025.
Yeah.
And we'd be stupid not to consider him, is what he said.
Which is fair enough, because he's going to be a really good driver, and he's someone that Red Bull would want in that seat, really.
And George Russell and Max Verstappen in the same car, that will be good.
But they would also absolutely hate each other and probably run each other over with the car.
Yeah, and obviously Verstappen and Russell falling out, that just make everything worse, wouldn't it? It'd only just get worse and worse from then on. So I think he'll stay with Mercedes.
I hope he stays with Mercedes. I'd love to see him go to a team like Aston Martin though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he suits the British teams really, and I think he'd look really good in Aston Martin.
Or McLaren or something.
Or McLaren, yeah. But I think he'd do really well at Aston Martin, especially with the changes that they're getting in the next few years. I think he'd do really well with them if he give up Mercedes.
If they can't get Verstappen for 26, Russell might be an option. Who knows?
I mean,
for 27, sorry.
Silly to pass it up.
Yeah, Russell's definitely a good candidate for that team. But yeah, so Russell's only other option really for me is to sign with Red Bull, which I think there's like a 5% chance of that happening with the way Red Bull are, and obviously with who they have.
I don't think it'd be the right career move for him though, really, because I think history again shows that the people, the second seat, he's not going to do any better than he is now, and there's not going to be any room for sort of improvement and to go further because it is just a team built around Verstappen, really.
And he's not being Verstappen in that car, no way. And
the Red Bull team is very unfair, I think. So I think anyone who goes into that seat now has to sort of think like, is it what I want?
Yeah. So yeah, extending with Mercedes, I hope that's what he does, and I'm sure that's what he'll do. He's safe hands, especially with a rookie coming in.
It's where he'd do best at.
So yeah, I think he'll just, a pretty boring one, I think he'll just carry on with Mercedes.
Our next person is Yuki Tsunoda.
Now this is quite possibly the most interesting one.
Yeah, because it's sort of all up in the air. It's like you can go two ways with him. You either will want to. Well, I personally think he'll sort of want to cut ties with all of Red Bull.
Do you think that?
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's been announced today that he's Red Bull's reserve driver, which is a big move. I mean, he's on the team somehow. Yeah. But I think he'd be stupid himself to stay on with RB or Red Bull itself.
No, it's true that. For me as well, I agree with you. I think he'll have his last crack this year at it. I definitely don't think he'll re-sign a contract with Racing Bulls.
Yeah.
As they are now called. It's a bit confusing. But
I know, it's hard to keep up with them all.
Yeah. But yeah, I think obviously he's going to stay there this year to try and get that Red Bull seat.
Yeah.
But if Racing Bulls come in with another contract offer instead of Red Bull contract offer, he'll just turn that down, I think. So then begs the question, let's say he doesn't get in the Red Bull.
Yeah.
And obviously he doesn't re-sign with the Racing Bulls. Where does he go then?
See, that's another thing as well. I don't really know at the moment where I'd put him.
Where can he go?
Well, yeah, because with all the rookies coming up and sort of making space for them, although things are going to be changing a bit next year, it would sort of be hard to find the right sort of fit and place for him to go as well.
Yeah.
Because it sort of seems like everything's a bit written out now for the next few years. And I don't know where Tsunoda himself would go, whether it's he stays with Red Bull or not. But I think he'd be limiting himself as a driver if he stayed with Red Bull. Because I think it's proven now that there isn't really much else he can do. Like, they don't want him at Red Bull. And there's only so long he's going to put up with the junior team.
Yeah.
So I think he's been dealt a pretty rubbish hand, really.
He has. His only option outside of the Red Bull family, really, is Alpine, for me.
Yeah.
Now,
but they're further in Colapinto.
With that being said, yeah, it was looking... To be fair, before the Colapinto reserve driver deal, I actually did think, like, I bet that's what they're looking at.
Yeah.
I bet they're looking at a Tsunoda for 26.
Because they knew
along with Gasly. They know as the safe teams are, obviously they've been together before, and it was good for them. So I thought that's what the plan was going to be. Obviously they've thrown Colapinto into the mix now, and I now don't see that move. I bet Tsunoda's probably thought, oh, that's that move gone for me now.
Yeah, I feel like everyone sort of had that idea, especially for Alpine, they would make a really good duo.
Yeah.
And knowing that that's coming up, Tsunoda probably looked at him and thought, that's my safe option.
Yeah.
But now it's gone, he's probably thought, well, what do I do? So he's now, kind of in a hard place.
I think he's lost the Alpine move. I mean, it's still on the cards if... Well, he'd have to get lucky to get in that seat, I think, now.
Yeah.
But obviously, I reckon the Red Bull, he's hoping for that. That's all he can hope for now. Because now, obviously, with all the other teams like are so set on who they have, apart from Alpine, which doesn't seem like Tsunoda's the first option.
Yeah, no.
Where he can't go anywhere. He has to stay at Racing Bulls or Red Bull. For me, I don't think, or at least until 2027, he's stuck 2025 and 2026 either in the Racing Bulls or he just has a really good season and Lawson has a really bad season, and then for 26 he gets the Red Bull call up, which is surely what he's just praying for now.
I think he'll know that too, because in his head it'll be telling him like, no, just sack off Red Bull, but in his heart obviously still wants to be in F1, which is why I think he might end up putting up with it for a bit longer in hopes that he might one day
doesn't have
get in the Red Bull seat. Well, he doesn't really, but it'd be sad to see him sort of string along again and see if he gets it, and then he doesn't, because it would be, it's a waste of time really for him, isn't it?
Yeah, Tsunoda's like he's sort of backed into a corner that he can't really. There's not many ways to get out. There's not really an option to get out other than. What more can he prove at Racing Bulls? You know, there isn't anything. Again, he just needs to beat his teammate and hope that Lawson's really bad. That's all he can do. So, yeah, I think the realistic option for Tsunoda is Red Bull for 2026. I think it could happen. I think it very well could happen. Okay.
That leads us on to our next one.
Yeah.
Who is Jack Doohan.
Jack Doohan. Now, this one probably won't take long.
No, I think everyone knows by now.
Yeah.
He's not going to have a long stint in F1.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have any options. His only literal only option is to perform extremely well, which from well maybe, but from what it seems, the only way he can stay at Alpine is if he starts beating Gasly every week. That's from what I've seen. That's how I feel on it. I think they've already kind of, what's the word? They've kind of, his F1 career has ended before it's begun. Yeah. That's how it feels. And
that's clear to see in how much they favour Gasly. Because when you look at last season and see how much Gasly improved when the car changed, when Ocon was being set back a bit, it's clear that the team is sort of built around Gasly. And for Doohan to come in and potentially beat them, I don't think they'll want that to happen themselves. No. Like, they don't want their number one driver to be beaten by a rookie. And if that does happen, he's proved himself and he should be able to stay. But I just don't think they're expecting that to happen, which is why they've made Colapinto sign a 5-year contract. But why would you sign a 5-year contract.
Yeah, you wouldn't be
if you're going to be a reserve driver. So clearly something's going on where he knows he's signed with Alpine for a long time because he's going to get given that chance.
Yeah. I think what's Colapinto now? 20, so he's our age.
Yeah.
He's not going to be an Alpine reserve driver until he's 25, is he? Like, let's be honest.
He'd be wasting his career.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is with the Alpine Academy is they've never... Jack Doohan's the only person they've ever promoted from the Alpine Academy, right?
Yeah.
Because it had like a really bad reputation for it didn't promote people and it just didn't work.
Didn't go anywhere.
It seemed like just nothing happened with these Alpine Academy drivers. And obviously they've had... I mean, they nearly had obviously Piastri, but then he did a last minute swap to McLaren, which has turned out to be a good move.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think because of that, they've felt like, Jack Doohan's our only option. They felt backed into a corner like Jack Doohan's literally the only one. When Ocon decided to leave, obviously then he was like, we're gonna have to put Jack Doohan in because who else can we get?
Which is so unfair though.
I know, but that obviously now, with Colapinto coming into F1, obviously Alpine have thought, you know what, he's probably better than Jack Doohan. So yeah, let's go for it. Which it's so unfair on Jack Doohan. It's a shame.
I really hope he shows he proves himself, because I think imagine him having the chance of a lifetime, being given that he's signed a contract for Alpine, he's driving F1, which is what he'd have wanted all his life. So then find out a couple of weeks later that he's basically got a replacement lined up, and he'll have so much pressure on him as well. And there's so many other elements for him to perform well. Like, it could go either way. He could either do amazing, but to be a young driver and to have all of that on your head whilst you're trying to drive an F1 at the same time, it's so unfair. It's ridiculous.
It is a shame, because the pressure that's on him to perform is astronomical now. Because he knows he can probably feel Colapinto breathing.
Yeah, down his neck.
Down his neck, like he's obviously the same. He's not stupid. He'll know with this 5-year deal, like what the consequences are if I'm not up to scratch from race one. I think he needs to literally match Gasly for them to even consider keeping him. I think Colapinto coming into F1 and doing that stint at Williams was the worst thing that ever happened to Jack Doohan, which is crazy to think like the domino effects from that. Because if Colapinto was never there, Jack Doohan would not be in this situation. It's crazy, isn't it?
It just works that way now, and Doohan's obviously taking a back burner. Colapinto's now the guy. So people want.
With Jack Doohan, I don't think he can go anywhere else.
I'm hoping he gets an opportunity, because I think he's driving for F1. He should be given a chance.
Yeah.
So someone might pick him up. You never know.
His only option is to perform on Gasly's level, and they might they probably will still get rid of him, but they might keep him.
I don't even think he'll do the full season. I reckon he'll get like 5 races in.
I mean, the fact they've signed him on a 1 year can say a lot.
Yeah. I think they knew what they were doing before they even started, and it shows through everything that's happened so far. So
good luck to him.
It's not looking good.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Okay. Moving on from Jack Doohan, we have Isaac Hadjar. Now, this is a really interesting one. Obviously, Hadjar second in F2, so you could say he's on great form.
Yep.
So with him, obviously, he's coming in. It feels very like we have no option. I don't think they'd have put Hadjar in had Perez not underperformed, and then obviously Lawson wouldn't have gone. I think they wanted to keep Lawson in that seat an extra year, and then give Perez. I think they wanted Perez to do well this year, so he had another year to see out his contract, and then they'd go from there. Because Perez was so bad, obviously the domino effect as Lawson's had to go into Red Bull, which is left to see at RB, which Dave obviously thought, Hadjar. That's how it feels.
That could also explain why Tsunoda didn't go up to Red Bull, because they'd have panicked thinking we've got no one in the Red Bull seat, but I don't want to move Tsunoda into it, because then RB wouldn't do as well.
Yeah.
So they might have put Lawson in.
It's true.
To keep Tsunoda getting the points for RB.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean... Yeah, I suppose
you want someone reliable still there, and unfortunately Tsunoda's been that guy.
It's good. It's good for Red Bull that RB are still in obviously good hands with Tsunoda. It's just bad for Tsunoda.
Yeah, it's just bad for Tsunoda. They just panicked really.
So I think they've panicked and thrown Hadjar in. Now with Hadjar, I think they probably want him to fail because there's a certain guy called Arvid Lindblad who finished 4th in F3 last season, but he was very there's something there, something about him.
Yeah.
He's been promoted into F2 this year, and obviously if he has a good season this year, who's to say he's not in the RB for 2026 or the Racing Bulls for 2026? So
and Christian Horner, time and time again, has showed he's got his favourites.
He loves
Verstappen, Ricciardo, this guy. It's when he's got a favourite, he's going to utilise it and he's gonna get them a seat. And
he won't stop.
Hold on to him because he gets that sort of relationship.
And he's not had that with Hadjar or Tsunoda, so.
And that again shows who he puts in the seat and who he wants on the team, which is why I think Hadjar's career in F1 will probably be cut short because it's only a matter of time before Christian Horner finds another favourite, and then they join the Red Bull family.
So with Hadjar, I mean, I personally think there's a 1% chance, if that he gets the Red Bull for 2026.
I mean, if Tsunoda can't get there, I don't think he is either.
No, unless he literally wins 5 races in that Racing Bull next year, he's going nowhere. And the only thing he can do that's realistic is hope that Lindblad has a bad season, a really bad season. But even then, we've seen with Behrman,
it doesn't matter. You can still get up, which is extremely unfair. But
so he has to hope that Lindblad has a really bad season in F2.
He sat there at night with his fingers crossed.
And he has to obviously at least be close to Tsunoda for him to get another 1-year extension. But even after that, I think 2 years is the best he's getting in F1, which is a shame because I kind of like him. But I think 2 years is the best he's getting out of F1. It's probably going to be 1 year because I think Lindblad will be in the Racing Bull for 2026. But obviously we'll do our 2026 predictions eventually. But I think Hadjar just got to hope for another 1-year extension at RB. That's his only option, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the best he can do with what he's been given, really.
I mean, can he just outperform Tsunoda and
we might
jump into that Red Bull? Who knows?
I mean, I think the whole F1 fans are a bit outraged if he don't in that seat before Tsunoda, but he might literally be amazing. We don't know. We've just yet to see his performance.
He does have some potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then moving on to our last one is Antonelli. Would you believe 5 drivers are out of contract at the end of this season? So
and most of them are rookies, 3 of them.
I know, 3 of them are rookies,
Poor guys.
So Antonelli, now this one is similar to Jack Doohan really. I think he can't move teams. I don't really think he's got the option to go anywhere else. Mercedes.
I will say though, he is a favourite.
He is, there's a lot of hype on him.
Yeah, and I don't think Mercedes will get rid of him because of the hype around him, and he's rumoured to do amazing. And coming up as a rookie, he's definitely one of the favourites, and I think Mercedes will probably keep hold of him because he's got an amazing teammate in Russell.
Yeah.
And the duos that come out of Mercedes time and time again are always really good. So I think Russell and Kimi Antonelli could make a good team.
Yeah, I do think. I think even a good season, Antonelli gets a contract renewal. A bad season, he gets a contract renewal. I think he's fine.
Yeah,
he's a young guy. Mercedes probably won't be fighting for the Constructors' Championship, so there's no pressure on him to be getting the points every weekend. Because obviously he's going to have his inconsistencies, he's going to have his bad races, he's going to have good races. That's bound to happen when you know.
Yeah, and unlike Red Bull, they're actually given a chance to carry on instead of being like, we can't do it.
I think he'll be given a long opportunity, Antonelli, to find his feet. So I think it makes sense. And obviously they did it with Bottas where they just kept him on for 1 year, and they did that for I think he was there five seasons. So yeah. Maybe that's just what they do. Who knows?
And again, like I said with Russell, I think Mercedes do care about the drivers a lot, and they build good relationships with them. So how Bottas has gone back to the reserve driver now, I think if Antonelli performs well and gives the team what they want, I think hand in hand he'll get what he wants out of Mercedes as well.
Yeah, I think he'll stay at Mercedes. I don't think he needs to worry about losing his seat unless he's absolutely awful, but he won't be.
Yeah, I think him and Russell obviously teach him a lot, and I think it's a new era for Mercedes now that Hamilton's gone, and I think giving a rookie an opportunity with Russell, I think amazing things will happen for Mercedes as well in the next couple of years.
Even if he's finishing 7th and 8th every season, every race, I think he'll be fine.
It's better than Hamilton. What he's been doing recently.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, me too.
So that was our predictions, I suppose. Not predictions, but just what
we think is going to happen.
What their options can be, what they're going to do, what the best thing for them to do is. So
could be some crazy moves though, we don't know.
Yeah, we could be completely wrong, and well, stranger things have happened, you know.
Yeah, F1's always like that.
So
you don't know what's going next.
Yeah, we're just going for the realistic, predictable stuff, but it could be completely different, and who knows. So we're going to move on to another section, another segment of the podcast where it's the rookies with the most and the least potential. So now this is like I think because there's so many rookies this season, this is actually a really good like little chat to have.
Yeah, because we don't know. Well, they're all equally talented in their own ways, and I think we've got a good range of drivers as well. Yeah. Which I think will be interesting because they can all do different things, and with the range of teams that they've gone on as well.
Yeah.
Because a couple of the drivers are obviously Mercedes, they're with really competitive teams, and then you've got obviously like Sauber.
We are counting Lawson as a rookie because he's still yet to do a full season, so we are going to count him. So obviously you've got a Red Bull rookie and a Mercedes rookie, so. You would think that they have the most potential being in the faster cars, but that's actually not what I've gone for.
Okay, so who have you gone for?
I'll start off with the least. This probably isn't a surprise to anyone, but it is Jack Doohan. To be fair, people might have thought I'd have said Ollie Byrne. But yeah, Jack Doohan I think is obviously the pressure on him.
Yeah.
Is for one is going to make him. For me, I think he's going to crumble. He's not. I think he'll sink rather than swim. I think he's had quite a questionable what's the word? A junior career.
Yeah.
Obviously he did decent in F2 in 2023, but even still, I think he's just been pretty off it.
Yeah.
I think with that being said, his last name has helped him because it's quite a popular racing name, Doohan.
Yeah.
So I think that's pushed him forward. So yeah, I think obviously he's not going to be here long, which I think everyone's predicted that. So yeah, I think he's got the least potential. A lot of pressure on top of him, and he's got a really good teammate to go up against. So
yeah, I agree. He's my least potential rookie as well, because similar reasons. I think Alpine are very much Team Gasly as well, and I don't think that'll help his case at all, because with the whole Colapinto being a reserve driver, I think the only way for him to sort of carry on in F1 is to outperform Gasly and really prove himself. But with the way that Alpine favours Gasly, I don't think he's really got that much potential to do that, which is just unfortunate. So I think before his career begins, it's going to be cut short.
And they're eyeing up Colapinto.
Yeah. So I don't think he's going to do that well with the cards that has been dealt, unfortunately. And with him having a replacement and with his teammate being Gasly, he'll pick up a few things. He'll probably have a really good opportunity, and he'll be very under pressure as well. And for a rookie to be under that much pressure and to know what's at stake, it can be quite hard to handle.
Definitely. So we've both come for Jack Doohan?
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I mean, it is probably him. I mean, there probably isn't another close second. I think he genuinely is just Doohan.
Yeah, he's been really unlucky, which is sad, but you can't really do anything about it. It's just the way that it's panned out for him, which is unfortunate, but he'll just have to make the most of it.
I know, just get the few races in while he can, just to say he's been in F1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so who's your most, who do you think has got the most potential coming into this season? Is it Lawson or Antonelli, or have you gone for someone else?
I've gone for Bortolesso.
Oh.
I think he's really lucky. I mean, obviously he won F2, and he's been put in the Sauber seat. I think his teammate with Nico Hülkenberg will help him a lot as well, because he's with one of the best drivers on the grid, and I think the skills and the partnership and the relationship he'll create with him will help him so much in sort of getting into F1 and getting the hang of things. And I think with it being the Sauber car, I don't think he's got that much pressure on him to do well, because there's only so much he can do in that car.
Yeah.
So I think it will really be like a beginning of picking up skill, how to sort of adapt to F1 and just learning things and learning how to do it. And I think in the next couple of years it'll be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And he'll sort of go through a settling in period, and then I think he'll just cook, and I think he'll do amazing in the next couple of years, especially when he sort of changes teams, which I also do think is unfortunate, that he has been given in the Sauber seat in some way, because he can only do so well with the car. But again, when you look at it differently, I think it's a good start for him because he's not got that pressure and he can just sort of work his way up.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I've gone the same as well, Bortoleto. I mean, obviously, pretty similar reasons. F3 and F2 back to back. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's very promising. Like you say, going into a team that are at the back of the grid, probably going to finish at the back of the grid again.
Yeah.
There's probably no pressure for them to even finish 9th in the constructors. I bet they really don't care, purely because Audi regulation changes.
Yeah, they'll be waiting for that.
And they have Audi coming in with new people, new team, new engine, literally everything changing. The whole team is changing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they're going to be looking at 2026. So they'll probably tell him, trial and error, mate. Whatever happens this year, just go for it. If you get 0 points, you get 0 points. If you get the opportunity to get a point, go for it. So I think with that, obviously, with him knowing that, is going to help him relax.
Yeah, definitely.
way more. So with it already, for me, I think he's going to be the best rookie. So with that already, with the no pressure added on top of that, he's going to be outperforming all the other rookies. Not obviously physically in the championship.
Yeah.
In terms of where he is.
But performance and skill base, you will.
With Hulkenberg as his teammate as well. Hulkenberg,
he's
obviously.
So lucky.
Yeah. Hulkenberg's a great person to learn from because he's not like one of the best, obviously he's one of the best, but he's not like
championship
he's not like a championship contender kind of guy. He's just a very, very, very solid driver. It's going to help. I think Hulkenberg will help him because he'll want to propel Audi forward, won't he? Because
definitely.
This is probably Hulkenberg's 37, 38. He'll be 38 for 2025. So he's not got long left, obviously.
Yeah.
I think he signed until the end of 2026. So who knows? That might be it. He might be done after 2026. So I think he's obviously going to want to propel Audi forward because this is probably the last team he's going to be at. So he'll want to help Bortoleto achieve everything they can together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he's got a great person to learn from. Already one of the best. Absolutely no pressure on him for 2025 because they're all looking at 2026.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bortoleto definitely has the most potential. Definitely.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what he does with it as well.
Yeah.
It is exciting to see new people come on the grid.
Brazil back on the grid is great as well.
Yeah. Again, history has proven itself. You get some damn good drivers from Brazil.
Some good Brazilians.
So I think we're going to have an exciting few years in F1 now.
Oh, wow, yeah. The next 10 years is
it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, we've come to this podcast at a great time.
Yeah, these are the drivers of our generation now.
Yeah.
So really we're going to get the Schumachers and the Hamiltons again.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's all we've got for you today.
Yep.
So we'll be back again soon, of course. And yeah, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Let me know what you think to our opinions.
Yeah, let us know some if you've got them below as well.
Yeah, and who you think's got the most potential and the least potential. I'm sure the answers aren't going to be too dissimilar.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what you think. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.